Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna do a big ol' beauty haul. Actually, it's really not that big. I don't know. It's like medium. I've got a ton of new products here that I am so excited to share with y'all. I've honestly used the majority of them, so I'm pretty excited about all of them since I've gotten a chance to like test them out before I've shown them to y'all. I feel like typically I like don't touch stuff before I haul it, but I couldn't wait to like dive into all these new goodies. They're not necessarily like new to the world. They're mostly just new to me, but I'm very excited about them and I've been using them and loving them, so I'm very excited to share them with y'all. Of course, everything will be linked down below per usual. It's pretty much all stuff from Sephora and Ulta, like maybe some Target, but everything will be linked down below for y'all to check out. So let's get into it. Also, the baby is like supposed to be napping and he is just in there rolling around and like climbing up on the like bars of the crib. I'm just gonna honestly start from like the top. This is all like literally piled up and like pretty much overflowing. So I'm just gonna start digging from the top and showing y'all what I have here. First up, I have the Too Faced Natural Face palette. This was, I think, on like a sale or something on Sephora. I definitely didn't like pay full price for this. I don't think that I would have, but I was really excited to try it when I saw, I think it was like half off. I feel like it was one of their like 50% off deals, but I love the packaging of this. I'm not sure. Yeah, you can kind of tell it's sort of like domed. So it's got like just like a nice kind of heaviness, like a weight to it and a little bit of kind of shape. It just sort of feels nice. And I love the kind of like lacy sort of design on it, and it smells so good. It smells like cupcakes or something. I love how it smells. And aside from just like the aesthetic and like the weight of the packaging, it's actually really nice because it opens all the way up, like even more than all the way up, so you can use this gigantic mirror, which is great. And so in here it has 2 highlighters, 2 blushes, and 2 bronzers. So far I've used all the shades and I'm really not crazy about the highlighters, but I do like the bronzers and the blushes. The highlighters, like I'm wearing the pink one today. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to tell. I did my makeup a little while ago and took a walk, so my makeup is probably not as fresh as it could be. I like 2/3 of this palette. I mean, I'll use the highlighters and I feel like they'd make good eyeshadows, but I'm not obsessed with them on my face. But I do like this little palette. It's definitely good for travel or, you know, just having at my vanity if I'm not trying to like reach for a ton of products. If I'm just trying to like get my face on, you know, especially because with the baby I usually have to do things pretty quickly. I do like having products like this that just are like a one-stop shop. I really like palettes like this that are kind of an all-in-one sort of thing. This is actually the foundation that I'm wearing today. This is the It Cosmetics Bye Bye foundation. So this is like their full coverage moisturizer. To be honest, today's the first day that I've worn it, and I have the It Cosmetics CC cream both in the illumination and the regular CC cream, which I actually did a comparison video comparing those 2 products, not this one but the other 2, so I can link that down below if you guys want to see that video. But I've never tried this before, and honestly I really feel like it looks very similar to those 2. Like, I don't really feel like this is wildly different. I have to continue testing it out. Like I said, today I used it for the first time. I do feel like, however, the shade is a little bit weird. Typically I wear light like on a normal basis in It Cosmetics, like the other product, or I think neutral medium is what I use like when I'm really tan. So I decided to get light medium in this one because it would be a little bit darker than light but a little bit lighter than my medium. But I feel like this is even lighter than the light in like the regular It Cosmetics CC cream, even though this is supposed to be like a shade or 2 darker. So I feel like the shade situation is different than the CC creams, but I do really like It Cosmetics products. I love the squeezy tube with the pump. I like love the packaging of that, and I love that they're all SPF 50, so I don't have to layer sunscreen underneath. So I really do like It Cosmetics like face complexion products, but I don't know if you like have the other 2 like CC creams, you definitely probably don't need this one, but I wanted to give it a go. Oh, I think he might be asleep. Next up, I guess we'll keep talking about foundations because honestly there's a couple in here. This is a drugstore option. I realize actually a lot of this is high-end, but I do have some drugstore stuff as well. This is the Makeup Revolution IRL Filter foundation. So this is definitely like a fairly new product, and it's considered like a long wear but breathable soft matte foundation. It says it's got like a 16-hour wear and it's oil free. I heard Casey Holmes talk about this, and I think this is only available at Ulta, so I grabbed it and I do like it. It's definitely full coverage. Like, it has a lot of coverage, honestly more coverage than I typically go for, but it's got a really nice finish. To me, it kind of reminded me of the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I feel like it had a similar finish and coverage and all of that kind of stuff. It does have the pump as well, which is really nice, and like a frosted glass bottle. And I think this is only like 12 bucks or something like that. Like, it's very, very affordable. Of course, I got the shade F7, which I think is like the darkest light shade before you get into like the medium range, and I feel like it does run a little bit dark. I feel like it's kind of closer to like my summer color than like a lighter skin tone shade, but I do really like it. I think it's really good. I like the coverage, and it's really good for the price. And like I said, I definitely have a handful of foundations in here. This is the Tower 28 Sunny Days SPF 30. It's like a tinted moisturizer kind of foundation, and I feel like this brand, I don't know if it's like newish, I just feel like this brand was not on my radar like whatsoever until fairly recently. Yeah, they call this a tinted sunscreen, but honestly, I feel like it's more of a foundation than just a sunscreen with some tint to it. It definitely has a really good amount of coverage, and I love the finish of it. First of all, the packaging is just so cute. I like their like font for their like brand. I just think it's cute, and I love the purple. It's a squeezy tube, and it just has like a little like squeezy, like almost kind of dropper sort of style applicator rather than a pump or anything like the other ones I've shown you. But I really, really like this. I have this shade 25, yeah, Ocean Park, which is a little bit on the darker side, like kind of close to my self tan color. It's not super, super dark. I just love the finish of this. It is so, so glowy. It does smell like sunscreen. That's the one thing I will say. Like, it smells like straight up sunscreen. That's because it is. I'm just obsessed with the like finish of this. It just looks so, so healthy and glowy and dewy, and honestly, you can just like throw this on kind of as a sunscreen. I usually like treat it like makeup, but you could totally just like apply this with your hands, and you can basically use it kind of like a lighter coverage, just like sunscreen type product. But I like to use it as like makeup because it has good coverage, and it's really, really, really pretty. And I feel like as far as foundations go at Sephora, it's not like crazy expensive. Like, I feel like so many foundations now are like $50+, like just kind of standard. This one I think is $30, which again is not like drugstore price, but it's not as expensive as a lot of them, and it's so, so pretty. It's like not a lot of packaging, so again, easy for travel or like keeping in your makeup bag or your makeup drawer. I love that, and it's so cute. But I really, really like this product. It's honestly one of the products I've tried recently that I like really, really like. Like, this is kind of a standout new product for me. I finally grabbed the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. This is actually one of the few products I have not tried yet. I literally keep meaning to try it. Like, I always have it out, and then I just like finish up my makeup and like I run and do other things, and I keep forgetting to try this out. But I'm really excited because I just feel like everyone that's ever tried this just talks about how like it genuinely makes your makeup last so much longer. I feel like a lot of setting sprays just kind of like help settle your makeup, or they kind of give your makeup a different like finish, either like mattify or kind of like add some glow or something. But this one genuinely like prolongs the life of your makeup on your face, and I feel like a lot of like setting sprays don't either effectively do that or aren't like meant to do that. So I'm very, very excited to try this out. If you do have thoughts on any of these products though, by the way, like if you've tried any of them, let me know. Like, if you love some of these, if you don't love some of these, if they're like some of your holy grail products, I would love to know your experience with some of these if y'all have tried them. This is a recommendation from Taylor Wynn. This is the Essence 16-Hour Cover and Last Powder Foundation, which I just use this as a setting powder, not really as a powder foundation. This is from Ulta, I believe, as well. Very, very affordable, of course, because it's Essence. She just raves about how nice this powder is, and I've used it quite a few times, actually. I got the shade 7 Natural Suede, and it's, I don't know, I feel like it's not really super dark or light. This would probably be like a year-round shade for me, honestly. I don't really, like, I haven't tested out the coverage of it. I've mostly just been using it under my under eyes because it is really nice and smoothing and like kind of undetectable. I don't think it's like knocking my socks off. Like, I don't think it's like the best powder in the whole world. I really like the e.l.f. camo powder a lot, but this is a really nice like affordable drugstore option for a powder if you are in the market for one. Like I said, I don't know if like as a powder foundation how effective it is. I really should try it that way, but it is really nice so far as I've noticed. It's definitely not like a drying or cakey or anything like that. Powders are one of those things I just can't bring myself to spend a lot of money on because I feel like generally speaking I don't like notice a huge giant change to my makeup when I put powder on. I don't know if it's just because I don't use a lot of powder or what, but powder is just one of those products to me that I just don't feel the need to like splurge on because I've never really had a powder that like changed everything. Powders like don't really move the needle a lot for me. Next up, I have a couple of blushes. I feel like this blush was like a really big deal. I think because of Kathleen Lights, another YouTuber that I like, used to really love it as well, but I never tried it. I don't know if it was like hard to get your hands on back then or what, but this is the Burt's Bees blush in the shade Toasted Cinnamon. Like I said, I think Kathleen Lights like put this on the map, but it's really pretty, like kind of different blush because it's like not really a blush color. It almost looks more like a bronzer, but it's very, very warm. Obviously, obviously, as you can tell. And I love the name because that's truly what it looks like. It's like a very warm, I don't have it on today, but it's a very warm, almost like an orangey type of blush. You probably could use this almost as like a blush and bronzer, like the Bare Minerals, why can't I say that? Like the Bare Minerals bronzer. I feel like this is kind of a product similar to that, where you could kind of use it almost like all over your cheek if you're just doing something kind of simple as like a kind of like warm up bronzer, but then also kind of like bring it forward as a blush and put a little bit on your forehead. I feel like you could use this that way because it kind of like is the tones that could work for both. It's really, really pretty, and I like that the packaging isn't like super bulky. I feel like a lot of products can't stand bulky packaging, and this is actually on Amazon. That's where I got it because it's definitely like a completely different shade than anything I've tried before, and I think for fall this is just like a very pretty tone. And then, like I said, speaking of blushes, I finally picked up a blush from Jouer. Love their packaging so much. This is one of their blush duos. I think it's in like the shade Passion, or like this is the blush bouquet in Passion, but each of the shades has like a different name. So like the duo is called Passion, but then this is Cherish Me and this is Treasure Me. So I don't exactly know how the names work, but like their packaging is so pretty. It's kind of got like this glass like outer, well, not obviously glass, but it kind of looks like a glassy outer layer, and then it's got a mirror, and there are the two shades. This is very, very shimmery, this like orangey one, and it's obviously very orange, so that's something I definitely use with like a light hand. But I do really like an orangey like warm blush, kind of like that Burt's Bees one, so it is really pretty. But I love this Cherish Me shade. It's more of a matte shade, and it's very pretty, obviously kind of cool toned, kind of like dusty rosy kind of pink. So pretty. Love that it has a mirror, but it's also still pretty small. So again, for travel purposes or just having like minimal products in your vanity like drawer or your makeup bag, for me, I like to have kind of like as minimal things around me as possible. So like I said, when I'm getting ready and I need to be snappy, I'm not like reaching for a ton of products. So that's what I really like this for. And I do really like the formula as well. Very, very pigmented. I like that they're so different, kind of like depending on what look you're going for, maybe like what you've done with your eyeshadow or your lip color, you can kind of pick what tone you're looking for. Love that. Oh, and this just came for free in one of my Sephora orders, which I'm kind of excited about. This is the Long and Strong Lash Serum from Velour. I don't know if this is considered like a really good lash serum, but I'm always here for anything that can help my lashes. It says it gives you like longer, healthier looking lashes. I've tried quite a few lash serums in my life, but never this one. So I'll give that a try. Next up, another foundation. Oh my gosh, I actually have I think I have two more foundations in here. I swear, y'all, I'm such a foundation junkie lately. Like I cannot stop trying foundations. This is another one that I feel like everyone has probably tried except for me, but this is the KVD Lock-It foundation. It's kind of dirty. I actually really like the packaging of this. I'm sure, like I said, y'all have tried this before, but it's got like this kind of like plastic like overlay on it, and the pump is like kind of in like submerged into the packaging, and then it comes out like kind of through here, so it's kind of like all self-contained in here. I think it's just kind of unique and different packaging, and I've only used this once, so I don't really have many thoughts on it. I have the shade Light 49 Neutral, and I actually almost got, I think, like a shade or two darker than this. I typically don't go for like fair or even like super light. I typically go closer to like a light medium, and I was afraid this was gonna be too light, but it's definitely not. I'm actually very glad that I didn't go like any darker than this, because even like with my self tan, like this matches well. Like any darker than this I think would have been like too dark. So I do kind of feel like the shade range runs a little bit dark, but this is definitely, again, a full coverage option. I tend to like go very much in either direction, either like very light coverage, because honestly my skin, thankfully, like ever since being pregnant, has just been really good for the most part. Like I really don't have, I have like two tiny little like active blemishes right around my mouth right now, which is very unusual. I don't know if something has caused that, but my skin otherwise is very like even and smooth ever since getting pregnant and having a baby, so I don't really necessarily need something full coverage, but sometimes I just feel like it's nice, especially if I'm filming or something like that. And this is definitely that, but I did really want to try this because I feel like it's kind of a classic. Like I feel like everyone has tried this and I haven't, and I usually feel like when something that everyone but me has tried, I'm like, eventually I just need to get my hands on it and see what it's about. This one I was very excited to get my hands on. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is their Luminous, right? That's what it's called. Yeah, their Luminous Foundation. This box is so reflective. This is what it looks like. This is so YouTube of me. This is what the packaging looks like. I kind of like how they have that right there. But I feel like this was very popular. I feel like this came out obviously like years and years ago, and I feel like it was very popular when it first came out, but I feel like I haven't really heard anyone talk about it recently. But like I feel like I've mentioned kind of in this video, I love a luminous base. I love like just glowy everything all the time for my skin, whether it's like my sunscreen or my foundation or like a setting spray. I just love to have a glowy look, especially because my skin, it's mostly normal, but it can run a little bit dry, especially now that we're like kind of getting into the colder months. So having like a luminous finish to my face is my absolute favorite. This, however, I don't feel like it's like particularly luminous. I honestly feel like the Tower 28 is a lot more glowy, and honestly even the It Cosmetics I feel like is a little bit glowier than this, but I've only used this twice, so I like don't have full thoughts on it, but I just don't really feel like it's like the most luminous of all foundations, like especially for being called Luminous Foundation, like that's the name of it. So I do need to play with it more, but I do like it so far. Oh, and I guess while we're talking about Anastasia, this is another product I have literally never tried, and I don't know why, because this is like my type of product. This is the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade, which literally like everyone and their mother has used. It obviously comes in a little pot here. I got the shade medium brown, which I think was a good choice. I feel like I probably could have gone one shade lighter. I don't remember what that color was called, but I love a brow pomade. That's actually like my favorite type of like way to fill in my brows. I've used the e.l.f. one for literally like 10 plus years. It's like almost the only brow pomade that I've used. I've tried a couple, so this is like definitely up my alley, but I feel like I always felt like if I could get the e.l.f. one for like $7 or whatever it is, like why would I spend more? But I did want to try this one out. I do like the packaging. It's like nice and tiny, and I have used it a bunch, and I do really like it. It's definitely like very creamy and like very pigmented. I'm not sure that it's like wildly different than the e.l.f. one. Like I feel like they're similar enough to like maybe not necessarily justify having this one. But I did get the brush that not like comes with it, but it is like the dual-ended angled brush. It's called the 7B from Anastasia, so it is kind of like the brush that is like meant to go with it. And I do really like this brush. This is like a really nice like fine pointed tip, so it's like really precise, and it does have the spoolie on the end of it to like brush through. So I do like these together. They're a really good pair for sure. Next up is the product I'm like a tiny bit disappointed in, not in like the product itself, but just I guess in the color. This is the Persona Cosmetics Bronze Multi-Stick. This is the packaging. I really like Persona Cosmetics. I haven't tried a ton of their products, but I love their eyeshadows. I've tried their lipsticks. Like I do really like them as a brand, but they are available at Ulta, so I wanted to try this out, especially because I heard Nicole Cutler talk about them, and I really like trust her like recommendations and suggestions when it comes to makeup. She's actually the one that used to always like rave about the Luminous Foundation and actually the Burt's Bees blush as well, so I really like trust her recommendations. And this is like a nice product. It's literally just like a cream bronzer. Like this packaging honestly kind of sucks. It's like very like cheap, really plain packaging, so I'm not really like obsessed with it. And honestly, I've only used it twice, and I kind of feel like the product has like gone down a lot. I don't know. The thing that I have with this is I got the shade Dune. There's only two shades. There's this one and then one darker, and the darker one was shown on like an African-American model, like with very deep skin. So even though I was like kind of leaning towards getting the darker one, I was like, oh, if that's meant for like very deep skin, then it's probably like really dark, like maybe even darker than it seems, and really pigmented. So let me get the lighter one. And like I said, this is in the shade Dune, and I just feel like it's like too light. Like I feel like in this stick, it doesn't look super light. As you can tell, it's very warm. Like it's very warm. I kind of wish it was a little bit more neutral. I don't know if it's showing up on camera as warm as it seems, but it just isn't. Like it either isn't dark enough or it isn't pigmented enough. I've used it like twice so far, and each time like after I blended it out, I kind of feel like it was kind of hard to see. So I don't know if it's the like I'm not using enough product. I don't know if it just kind of like blends into nothing. I don't know if it's too light. I don't know if it's just not pigmented. Like, I don't know what exactly about this product is like not working for me, but I'm just not obsessed with it. I'm going to keep it and still use it and everything. I might just need to like build it up a little bit more. I'm just loving cream products right now. Kind of funny that I haven't mentioned any cream products yet. Obviously, other than foundations, I haven't mentioned any like cream blush or bronzer yet, because I've been obsessed with cream blush and bronzer. I feel like that's kind of just like trendy right now in general, but I'm surprised I haven't mentioned any yet, because that's what I've been really into, and I had high hopes for this. I was excited about it for that reason, but I don't know. I feel like I need to play with it a little bit more. But speaking of cream products, I feel like we're kind of getting into a little bit more of those. This I kind of took a flyer on at, I'm pretty sure I got this at Sephora. This is the Tarty Breezy Cream Cheek Duo. And I honestly like didn't have high hopes for this, honestly. Also, I feel like the packaging is kind of like annoying to me. It's kind of like a small thing, but like why is it plain? Don't you feel like it should say Tarte or like say the product name on here? Like I feel like this, like they forgot something. That's a very small insignificant thing, but it's too like plain on the top for me. I don't know why, but I really didn't like have super high hopes for this. I just really liked the shade, so I was like, I'm just gonna try this, and I'm obsessed with it. This is like probably one of my favorite products, honestly, in this whole entire haul, which is just kind of funny because I really didn't even think I was gonna like this, but I really do. I think this might be kind of intended for like darker skin tones. You can probably even tell this is like a very kind of like deep, obviously like berry cream blush, and then this is a cream bronzer. This also is like a little bit on the warmer side, but I love it so much. I love the shade of this blush. I love the shade and tone of the bronzer. I love the formula. Like they're very pigmented, they're very easy to work with and like build up and blend. They like stay put, like they have good lasting power, and I just love that it's a little duo. So again, it's like a one-stop shop. I feel like that's kind of the theme here, is like things that are kind of like packaged together. I just love that, and these are like surprisingly good. I've never tried any like cream products from Tarte before, and I just kind of thought this might be kind of a miss, but it's like a very much a hit, like surprisingly so. I definitely recommend getting your hands on this. I feel like nobody talks about these. I've literally never heard anyone talk about them. And then I've actually already filmed a video on the e.l.f. Halo Glow liquid filters. I'm sure it's probably up before this video, so if it is, I will link it down below. But I feel like everyone has been freaking out calling these like Charlotte Tilbury dupes, and I address all of that in the video because I do have the Charlotte Tilbury like version of this, so I'm not gonna really get too much into it in this video. You guys will have to watch that video if you want to learn more. But I got two shades. I got shade 1, which is in fair, and then shade 4, which is in medium. And this is essentially kind of, it's called like a liquid filter, like a glow booster for radiant skin. These products have about 6 million different uses. They can work as like a glowy primer. They can kind of just like be used on their own, sort of as like a glowy sort of like light coverage foundation. You can use them as just like a liquid highlighter because they do have a doe foot applicator. So like you can use these kind of a million different ways. I really like using it as a highlighter. I have tried it all over my face as a foundation. I've used it as a primer. I've tried it a bunch of different ways. I love that it's just a very like multi-use versatile product. I got the lighter shade to kind of use under foundation and as like a cream highlighter, and then I got the slightly darker shade to use kind of like all over as like a foundation sort of thing. So many cool uses and so affordable, especially compared to the Charlotte Tilbury. And I feel like products like this are just kind of worth having because they have so many different uses. You can kind of feel like you're purchasing something that you can use a lot of different ways, and it sort of makes you feel like you're getting a lot more bang for your buck out of them. And then again, speaking I guess of e.l.f. and also of cream products, I've been loving the e.l.f. putty blushes. They're cream blushes, but they recently came out with the Luminous putty blushes. The other ones like aren't matte, but like they're not called matte blushes, but I think these like new ones are like extra luminous and dewy. It's not even that they have like glitter. I feel like you like won't be able to pick up on any like specific glitter or shimmer. Like even I don't really see any. I think the formula is just slightly more glowy and dewy. This one's in the shade Isle del Sol. It's kind of a mouthful. A really pretty like super bright orange. I honestly have so many different putty blushes at this point. I think I have 3 or 4 blushes, and then I have one of the putty bronzers. They're just such good products. Honestly, you kind of get a lot of product, especially for the price. These are like $6 or $7. There's so much product. They're so pigmented. I love how they apply. They just like apply very, very seamlessly and like effortlessly. Like they just instantly like look like they're part of your skin. You can use them under powder or over powder. I've done both. Like they're just the easiest products to use. They have so many amazing, like just beautiful shades. So affordable. I love the formula. Everything about these, I like cannot rave enough about the putty products in general. I use the putty brush, the little like putty applicator brush in these. Definitely recommend getting that for sure because it's literally the exact size of this. So you can just dip the brush in here and then apply it like right to your face. It's such a great brush. I'll link that as well. And it's the perfect little size for these and it applies really well. This product is kind of, it's like a little sample almost that you can purchase on Amazon for literally like $3. It's so affordable. And it's kind of random. It's from the brand Julep, which to me is a nail polish brand. Like I have Julep nail polishes. I honestly didn't even know that they did makeup, but Taylor Wynn, who I again always like trust her recommendations, she said this eyeliner from them is just the best thing ever. I think this is the black shade. They actually have all the different shades shown there. I haven't even tried this out yet, but she like really raves about this, and I've mentioned in like so many of my videos, if there's a mini version of something, I will always buy that no matter what. Even if it's like not as good of a deal as the full size, or even if like I'm really thinking like I'm gonna love it, I will always get the small size because I just never go through my makeup. I have so many products and so many things that I'm constantly testing out, and I'm always bouncing between products that I just like never really use up makeup very often, and I like hate to waste money or product. So I love when things are offered in a small version, because honestly, like even though this is pretty tiny, I will probably never use this pencil up just because I use so many other things, and I feel like even with pencils, like you're never really using a ton of it. So I love that they have this little tiny version. It's literally $3, which is crazy, and I'm super excited. It looks super black whenever she like uses it. It looks like a very creamy. It says it like glides on with no tugging, and it stays put for 10 hours. I'm excited to test this out, and I love that I can try a small one, and then of course if I were to like fall in love and use it up, I can always buy the full size after the fact. Oh, you know what I should have mentioned? We were talking about like brow stuff and e.l.f. stuff. This tool I'm pretty sure is only available on Ulta. I'm sure it's probably on e.l.f.'s website, but I haven't seen this at Target. But this is the e.l.f. Brow Lift Applicator. I actually do really want to try the e.l.f. Brow Lift like product, like what this is meant to go to. This is a little like tool that has a spoolie, and then it's got like this flat side, really thick, like strong metal. And I don't know exactly if this is meant for like scooping the product out or what, but what I've been using it for is after I put in like my brow gel, I've been using the Refi brow gel, which is really nice. It has a lot of hold, but I've been using this, and I think it is what it's meant for. I'm pretty sure. I've been using this to like kind of like push down my brows and honestly just kind of like keep them in like that sort of, you know, sort of like glued down in place. Like however I kind of brush them up and give them sort of like that feathered out sort of effect. This little like flat portion allows you like really like kind of paste them down and keep them in the shape they are, and then they dry in that shape and they don't like move as easily. So it's a super affordable little thing, but honestly I do feel like it kind of changes the game in terms of like how your brows look and how they like stay in place. So I really like it. Highly recommend grabbing that little simple thing. And speaking of brows, I also got my hands on the Got2b brow gel. I know a lot of people right now are using just like the Got2b like hair gel on like a spoolie or something and just kind of like using that, which I think works probably very similarly. I haven't tried that, but to me, I just like don't want a giant tube of hair gel like sitting on my vanity. I feel like that's just not convenient. It just like, again, takes up too much space, and I just don't want to like squeeze out hair gel onto a spoolie. So I feel like this is probably very similar in terms of like the effect. It's probably got a similar sort of formula in the tube, but it comes in like an actual spoolie, so you can just like brush this through your brows. And this has really good hold. I would honestly probably say it's pretty comparable to the Refi brow gel. The Refi one has a lot of hold, but it's like white. It literally looks like Elmer's glue. This is a lot like clearer. Like it's really clear, but it has a lot of hold. Like it does feel like it's gluing your brows in place. This I only could find on Amazon whenever I purchased it. I will definitely link it wherever I can find it if it is Amazon, or I'm not sure if it's available other places. So it didn't seem to be like the easiest thing to get my hands on. Like I think it did ship from the UK, like it says UK on here. So I'm not sure if this is not available in America or what. It says do not use on eyelashes. That's kind of funny, but this is really nice, and I feel like it works really well, and it was really affordable when I bought it. It's a really good option as like an alternative to the Refi one if you want something a little cheaper. And then let's see, last but not least, I have 2 MAC lipsticks in here that I have been really wanting to try basically forever. Again, these are like not new. Everyone's tried these except for me, but I got this shade Honey Love and Velvet Teddy. Honey Love is a little bit more of like a kind of, I don't know, it's sort of like a you know, brown, sort of like a cinnamon type color, but a little bit more on like the pinky neutral side. I feel like this is a really nice kind of like fall shade because it's like not super deep or dark or anything, but it does add just like a little bit of extra color to your lips, and it's a really pretty shade. Whereas Velvet Teddy, again, I feel like these are both kind of like, they're not nudes obviously, but they're kind of like a Your Lips But Better sort of shade. They're not like super bold, but they definitely like add a little bit of something. Velvet Teddy is a little bit more of kind of like a reddish pinkish sort of shade, but again still kind of on the cooler side. red and not like super in your face intense color, but like a really pretty shade. I feel like this is kind of similar to like Iconic Nude from Charlotte Tilbury. I'm sure it's not like an actual dupe, but like when I see a shade kind of like this, I feel like it's kind of in the same like family. And I really like MAC lipsticks. I feel like we all like MAC lipsticks. They're just kind of like a cult classic, and these are two, again, just like very cult popular shades. I feel like going back to like OG YouTube, everyone was obsessed with these. So again, kind of like with some of the other products here, I just feel like I had to try them and get my hands on them, and I like these shades a lot. I feel like for fall especially, these are going to be kind of my go-tos. And then last but not least, I feel like, did I just say last but not least? I feel like I did, but this is actually the last thing. This is the NYX Epic Ink liner. I feel like especially Taylor Wynn, but a lot of people really love this liner, and I've never tried it, but I got the brown version because I've been seeing a lot of, again, especially like for fall and stuff, I feel like I've been seeing a lot of looks with like brown eyeliner on the top and like brown wings and stuff like that, and I've never done any like kind of like colored, well, I mean, I've done colored liner, but not like a neutral color. I feel like I've done like blue and stuff like that, but I've never done a brown liquid liner. So I feel like that could be really pretty for like a softer kind of line, like if you don't want something stark like a black, or just for fall, something kind of fun and different, just to do like a little brown wing. Again, a little bit more of like a subtle kind of look, not as stark. So I'm really excited to try this out. I haven't even like opened this yet. I haven't tried it. So I'm excited to try it out for the formula because I feel like, again, everyone really loves it. It says it's waterproof. So I'm excited just to like see how this is in general, but I'm really excited to try a brown like liner. I feel like it's just gonna be really pretty and fun and different, especially for this season. So, oh my gosh, my legs are falling asleep. I thought this would be like a quick little video because it's just like some beauty products, and I feel like when I like share like hauls with clothes, like those take a lot longer because I have to like kind of show them and explain them and then try them on and film them. I thought this would be kind of like a quicker kind of haul because it's not, you know, it involves a lot less steps, but I feel like because I've tried all of it, I had a lot of thoughts, and I feel like this was basically just like mini reviews of all these products and then also a haul. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed. Like I said, everything will be linked down below for y'all to check out. Definitely let me know your thoughts if you guys have tried any of these products. And thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. If you would like to subscribe, we would love to have you. We have so much fun here. And until next time, I will see y'all in our next video. Bye, guys.